What's going on, everyone? Jackson here. Welcome back to the weekly endeavours for the 10th of March. As always, there will be timestamps in the description if you want to skip all this stuff. I just want to go through the patch first, because the main patch has just arrived. We've got Fallen Banners now that's just come out. So I assume some people just want to at least hear some of the info here. I'll try and condense it a bit for what I think is all the important stuff. There is some pretty good stuff, I think, worth talking about here. So we've got two new dungeons. We've got Exiled Redoubt and Lepsiclusa. So Lepsiclusa is in Hisbane here, and in Westfield we've got the other new dungeon, Exiled Redoubt. So these will be very advanced. You can get them in the Crown Store now. It's just like any other dungeon where it's about 1,500 crowns, so it's like $15-ish, depending on where you are. So you've got those to look forward to. If you're familiar with dungeons, these will be at least a breath of fresh air, new challenge for people who like that sort of thing. But just understand they are quite advanced, as are all the dungeons when they come out new. Some information if you want to know here is there's a new skin, there's a couple of new mementos, there's a new die as well. So if you want to know the skin is called Tactician Lattice. So just look for something that has that. So Tactician Gold Lattice, this one here. So you can preview it with the Y key if you want to see what it looks like. Yeah, right, it's like an Imperial style one. Interesting. Alright, so yeah, so you got some stuff there if you want to look through that. I'll make sure I link this in the description if you want to know, if you want to look it up yourself too. So yeah, there's a couple of new things here. New Gaia? I was thinking Goldenrod. New die. Achievement. Here's the things I want to talk about though. Map improvements. You might have noticed when we were scrolling through all this stuff, you might notice the map is way less cluttered. This is so much fucking better than what they had before. So now they've reduced the map size to just one important way shrine. I don't know why Volcal isn't the more important one, but I guess Skyreach is like the capital in Oridon. But as you can see, it's a lot easier to read the map. It's also a lot quicker. If anyone who's been watching for the past like couple of months, I guess, or as long as I've been playing this game, you'll know anytime I scroll out of the map, it takes like fucking 2 seconds because the game's loading all the way shrines on the UI. So this is so much better for me. I imagine just for simplicity's sake, it's going to be better for most people anyway. So yeah, really glad they did this, because it also doesn't show all these fucking annoying homes on the map as well when you want to, for example, get to a way shrine. You know, every time you try and go to like Gullanumber way shrine and it'd try and get you to travel to Rosy Lion or some shit, it's so much fucking better than what it was before. So just got to say that is great, and thank you to the developers who made that a thing, because you have made this game so much more fucking chill, I think. So much better. Little thing that makes it so much better. Alright, so converting disguises. This is an interesting one. So for all those people who understand, like for example, the quest in Stros, you've got the servants' robes. They're like a pretty common one I've seen in the past in PvP. There is now a section in the collections. I've got to find where it is now. Costumes. Let's have a look. Oh yeah. So they've just become a part of costumes here. So any of the quests that you complete that give you a special costume, these ones here, you'll be able to find them. So for example, I've done the Forebear quest, surely. So if I type Forebear... No? Okay, interesting. Okay, yeah, right. So here you go. So Servant's Robes, for example. I don't know why the Forebear Dishdasher isn't here. Interesting. I got to check that out, because it doesn't look like all of them actually been enabled then. Yeah, some of the things that you get from quests, like the costumes that you get, they've been added after you complete the quest on one character. You can put them on anytime, so you don't have to have all these bloody annoying things in your inventory. Yeah, some people might not be too familiar with that, but that's good. For role-playing, that's good. It's always good. So yeah, basically just look through your collections. You'll probably have some of these things here. These two here, I don't see them. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe some of them... maybe I haven't done any of the Bergama quests, though. I don't know. I guess we'll see. Alright. This is, I think, one of the most important things. The changes to mount speed. And I have tested this. It does look like they've done... Because here's the thing. They say, oh... due to the way this ends up being no change for... Or a slight buff, right? In the past, they have said this shouldn't... Like, this should be a buff or whatever, and I've just fucking bullshitted. Like, the changes to Twice Worn Star years ago, they said it was a buff, and it was a fucking nerf. Like, it was such a ridiculous nerf that it was just... It went out of contention compared to, like, sets like Huntings. It was stupid. But I have tested this, and it does appear that if people have watched my Vampirism build, I went through the movement speeds, and one of the things I went through is the movement speed on mount. And as far as I've seen, the mount speed does seem to be unchanged. So this is without Gifted Rider. With Gifted Rider, you can hit about 80 meters per second, and I was hitting that without Gifted Rider. So I'm just going to see what happens if I put Gifted Rider on. Yeah, so about 80. So it's still about what it was before. So yeah, it's virtually unchanged for higher speeds. But the important thing for this is the low speeds. Base mounted speed is up from 15 to 42%. So no longer are the days where as soon as you start a character, you're better off equipping movement, like on foot movement speed bonuses, because your horse is so fucking slow at the beginning. Now it'll actually be the case where it is still worth it using a horse from the get-go, because the horses are a lot faster from the beginning. Gallop is now no longer major gallop, it's just gallop, so it doesn't confuse people. It is the only gallop buff that you can get. There used to be a minor gallop, but they removed that ages ago. It used to be on a jury set, and with minor and major gallop back in the day, you were definitely faster than you are now, but I guess it's alright. Apparently it caused issues with the server or whatever. I still think they should just invest in fucking getting good servers for a change, but you know, that ship has sailed, I'd imagine, anyway. So based on everything I've seen here, the effect still gives you the same amount of speed that you had before. So as you can see, sprinting on a train mount with Gallop and Gifted Rider is plus 1%. I don't know how accurate... I'm not good with maths, right? So I'm not really a good judge. But based on the fact that you can hit 80.1, based on what I saw there, 80.9 is the highest. Yeah, so we hit 80.2. So it does seem like a tiny buff to Gifted Rider movement speed, which is good, I guess. That's fine. So as long as they haven't changed the max movement speed. But yeah, sprinting on a brand new mount with Gallop, plus 5%, really good. I'm just so glad that they've increased the speed from the get-go, because starting this game with a slow mount is fucking hell on earth. And I know what it feels like, because I just started on EU a few months ago, and I had a mount with no gallop and nothing, and it was so fucking slow. So yeah, thank you for fucking changing that. It's good. It's a good change. Starter Zone refresh. I do want to check this out too. Supposedly they've given a visual update. I'll check this out. I don't think it's worth going through in this video though. It's just there's other stuff we want to get through. So the green, but yeah, TLDR, they've given the trainee zones a refresh. So if you're not familiar with the trainee zones, these are Spruce Mackay. They've also put all the zone names on the map too, which is fucking great. So when you scroll in, you can know what the hell you're looking for. Spruce Mackay, Betneek, Bleakrock Isle, we've got Balfoyn, and then we've got Kanathis Roost down here. These are the trainee zones. So basically these are like the zones that you start with when you first starting the quest lines. These are the places it makes you go now. And these having a visual update is good, because these are 2014 zones, so they are like so outdated in their like visuals. So I am looking forward to having a look at that. But for now, I'll just keep it simple. Green CP changes. We might have seen that when I went into the champion point. Yes, meticulous disassembly. Fucking thank you. Making this one a yellow is really good, because now you don't have to slot it alongside one of these other ones. You can use these ones to still have this. This is great for crafters, because it means basically you don't have to move around these, because some of these are really helpful. Plentiful Harvest as well, being a yellow, is fucking awesome. But yeah, this one here, whenever you refine stuff, it gives you a better chance of getting like gold materials and stuff. This was a green one. This is one of these before, and now it's not. And Treasure Hunter 2. Treasure Hunter is now a yellow CP. Thumbs up. Big thumbs up. So yeah, that's great. So you can see here, these are the ones that they've changed to just be yellow ones, which is fucking great as well. That's the thing. These are such small changes, but, you know, they're good, I think. Compared to some things we've had in the past. Like that, the tutorial change to me was like a letdown, so I guess I'm kind of just glad that there's some good things to look forward to. Milestone visibility on character and inventory UI screens. I think if we go into the character screen, yeah, so you can see your Mundus here, which is helpful because now you don't have to go down here and have a look here. So this, and it'll also give you, show you what the effect is here. So you can see it also puts the, tells you what Mundustone you're using here. So that's kind of nice. Don't think it was super important, but I think this definitely should have been done a long time ago. So yeah, that's good. Because this is kind of like a main thing for people, but I assume most people just go the thief anyway, so it's not really something people have to go through in detail, I guess. Yeah, that's fine. Player responses. I have no fucking idea what these are talking about, but I'll check them out too. But yeah, supposedly it's like a roleplay thing where you can give response. Like, I think when you're talking to NPCs, you can change the way you talk to them. So yeah, that's all right. I'll look through that, and I guess if I find out more about that, I'll talk about it in another video. But yeah, that's for roleplay purposes. That's always good. This game does benefit greatly from roleplay, I think. Right, console add-on support. Fucking great. This is something that I think has also been necessary for a while. Add-ons really help players do things. I know you can say like, oh, it makes you a better player if you don't use add-ons because you can rely more on yourself, but add-ons in this game really help you survive, I think. Just in dungeons alone. Like the things that I can just know with add-ons, like when a heavy attack's coming my way from a certain enemy, just really makes it easier to survive and be reliable, especially when I don't play for some time. I just at least want to be reliable even if like I'm still a bit shaky on it. Yeah, that's good. Add-ons are good, I think. New anniversary dyes. This is interesting. Gold leaf, ebon leather, and ivory. Basically, yeah, like 10-year anniversary stuff. That's good. I haven't seen this stuff yet, but I'll have a look. 2 new homes, probably super expensive, so I'm not really going to worry about that stuff. New furnishings is cool. Some changes to crouch. Basically easier to see see how you're crouching and stuff. A couple of skills are no longer able to, like, you can't use them from crouch. Basically, I think they reveal you as soon as you go to use them, which I don't know. Some people probably don't like that. Some do. Basically, seems to be a anti-gank change. I don't know. I'll let people who know combat go through that better than me. Some changes for like server related stuff, like for server reasons, to the 10% damage reduction that all players have. So yeah, we've gained a damage reduction. I think that came out when Blackwood came out. They just gave players extra damage, I think. I'm not 100% sure. I know that's when we got the extra 1,000 weapon damage on all our characters, but I don't know if it's when that came out. And yeah, heavy attacks off balance. Yeah, you can read this. I think they were saying something about, yeah, the bonuses to server handles. They're just trying to clean up more server stuff. You're going to notice they do this a lot because they're basically just trying to cut costs to not pay for fucking better servers. Just make the game less intensive on them. This is 30 between the two different effect. It's proper grounded amount of critical rating equal to 6% based on your level. Okay. This has been a weird thing for a long time. They've always been like, they've been a rating instead of a percent chance, so it's always been confusing for new players trying to understand that. So they should have done this fucking ages ago, but better late than never, or whatever. Abilities with a cooldown can no longer be queued if their slot was intimidated. Okay, that's just balance changes, whatever. Some changes to class abilities, basically just bug fixes mostly. And yeah, you can now purge that stuff. I guess that's good. Not that Necromancer's needed any more of a bloody nerf in PvP, but yeah, I suppose that's good in the long run. Scribing, some stuff changes to scribing, some new sets added with the dungeons, some changes to other sets. One thing I noticed with Way of Fire is it's changed to max health, and they've also removed its effect on weapon abilities. Now it's only light and heavy attacks. It's actually impactful to me for my Imperial City stuff, because I use snipe for that. But yeah, it's very obnoxious for ganks for sure. So yeah, I guess we'll see. And it doesn't really matter anyway, because I can just light attack first, or after the snipe. It's probably the same thereabouts. Yeah, some other stuff, you can read this if you want, but basically some set changes. The weird one that stood out to me was Reliquin. Arms Reliquin. They're changing it to have offensive pen, weapon and spell damage, and weapon and spell damage, which is kind of weird. It makes sense because the set cannot critically strike, so it's kind of what's the word? I'm trying to think. It's like counterintuitive to have crit chance on a set that relies more heavily on just pure damage. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. Also, Telvanni efficiency, the cost reduction was additive rather than multiplicative, so that's a bit weird. Yeah, so you can read all this stuff, and the rest is just like bug fixes and other things. Not really anything else important, I think, worth going through. But yeah, again, I'll link this in the description if you want to have a look yourself. So yeah, there's some good things to go through there. I've got pickpocketing, we've got defeating enemies, and then we've got trials with a guildmate. I still think these are fucking disgusting. This is an MMO though, so I should sort of be more lenient to that, I suppose. Now, I wouldn't bother with this one. Just trials in general. Like these take ages. You could easily defeat 300 enemies before you even get a group to do a trial, let alone 3, and let alone doing the trials themselves. This one would be way quicker. Pickpocketing, also not that great, because one, if the people that you're trying to pickpocket are killed by other players, you can't pickpocket them, so it's kind of player reliant. And 2, you can rack up a huge bounty unless you're like absolutely 100%. Always get green, like pickpocket people in green times, and have like perfect pickpocketing. Otherwise, you can get like thousands of gold bounty from just trying to do this, and it will definitely be slower than just defeating enemies, because you can easily defeat 10, 20, 30 enemies by the time you can just like pickpocket one person. So yeah, I still think this one's way quicker. Now, I'm going to put in the description as well my setup video, particularly for getting to Skyreach Catacombs, because that's what I suggest. Now, you can use other things. You can use public dungeons. That's another thing about trials. You will probably complete the defeat 300 enemies before you actually complete the trials endeavor, because there will probably be 300 enemies within those trials. So that's also quite funny. So you could just do the enemies from trials without a guildmate, because honestly, I would not be surprised if you get this done before then. One thing to just go through real quick with a guildmate is you don't have to join a guild. You can create your own one. Just call it. We'll just call this. All right, we'll call it. Yeah. So we got hello everyone, Jackson. Hey. So yeah, you can create your own guild, and then you can go to the roster. You can add a member, so you can just like add your friend. So for example, I can just add. Oh, that's me. Hold on. Yeah, this one. I mean, they're all me, but yeah. So you can just add your friend. They can hop in, or just like add someone random, and they can accept it, and you can just be in your own guild, so you don't have to worry about like the time it takes to join a guild. You can just be in your own little guild here, and then when you're done with the endeavor, you can just delete the guild anyway, because you're the last one in, alright? So it's just, I'd say it's an easier way to do it there, especially if you just like want to do it with one mate. Just like, I mean, at the same time, if you're in like a PvE guild, I don't know if they're like still big, especially with like normal trials, but you can just like go with a full group of your like 12 guildmates. I don't know if all the subs want me to do that, I can do that if you want, but I still think the other options are just way quicker anyway, so I'll just go through those. But yeah, finding trials, you just go group finder, trial, and they'll be here. They'll probably be I don't know if people will be doing these for the endeavor. No, it's just farming, whatever. So you can find them there. Depends on the time of day. If it's not prime time, you're probably not going to find many trials. Even on weekends, I don't find that many anymore, but yeah, you can give it a try if you want. Yeah, like I said, I think it'll be the slowest option. I'll also just go through pickpocketing real quick. So all you do with pickpocketing is you go crouch. I don't really see any... Oh yeah, I guess you can see the buff. Sneak. Okay. Oh, so yeah, it does tell you all the extra stuff. That's good. That's helpful. Alright, so all you do is you come up behind people, and you've got a base chance, and then when it goes green, it gives you an extra little chance. It's like 20% extra, and that's when you should pickpocket. Now, it's a chance thing. Unless you're really high in leisure domain, or you're a Khajiit, you can't buff your pickpocketing at all in any other way. So, if you want to... So there's two ways. So you've got, in world, leisure domain, you've got the light fingers passive. This increases your pickpocketing. And also being a Khajiit, they've got a racial passive. I think it's one of... It might just be the natural, the flavor passive. But yeah, the Khajiit race characters have extra pickpocketing. So if you want the absolute maximum, you need to be max level in leisure domain, and you need to be a Khajiit. And you've got 4 in the light fingers passive. The first passive doesn't give you much, but the fourth passive, 50%, that's a lot. So those acolytes out there on the first pickpocket, if you get that green effect, you get a 100% chance, so it's impossible to fail. Now, the chance is completely just time-based. So, like, every 10 seconds or so, it'll go back to being green. So it'll go ding! Yeah, like that. And then it'll go back to being normal, and then another 10 seconds after that, it'll probably go green again. That's the only thing that affects that buff, and that's the only other way to increase your pickpocketing. So, leisure domain, light fingers passive, being a Khajiit, and waiting for the green ding to play. That's the only way. Now, I don't think using the acolytes is a great way to pickpocket for this, especially for the weekly. I think going to places less traveled, for example, Bergama, I think this place is pretty good. It's funny, we were talking about Bergama before, because people don't come to this place too often. There is like a spree quest for Dark Brotherhood where people might come here to kill stuff, but usually they'll just kill their 3 things and move along. So there's lots of people here you can pickpocket. Thinking maybe places like Narcissus, you know, just places that aren't commonly used by players for like vampirism or pickpocketing. So you can see this person's here. This is exactly what I'm talking about. So they kill them, you can no longer pickpocket them, right? So that's the issue. So going to places like this where people are more, there's like the population is like comes here more often, it's not going to be as good, I think. So I think it's probably wise just to avoid places like this. You can try it if you want. One other thing you can do is if you do the Dark Brotherhood, if you've got the Dark Brotherhood DLC, you can do heists. Heists are like, you can pickpocket people in heists, like the civilians, but unlike this, like unlike these places, which are like you're subjected to the other players and what they'll do, Black Sacraments, not heists. The Dark Brotherhood one are Black Sacraments. Takes a little bit of unlocking them, but they're instanced. So all the civilians in the Black Sacraments, other players can't kill them. So what you can do is you can accept the quest, go in, start pickpocketing everyone. Don't worry about the bounty, right? Because you're in the Dark Brotherhood, so there's no guards anywhere nearby. And the guards in the actual Black Sacraments are not immune, like invulnerable. It's of old content. They're very weak. Like you can kill them quite fast. You could honestly just go in on like a typical build and do that. But again, it'll be much slower, I think. So yeah, you could do that. And then when you pickpocket everyone you could possibly find, you can just abandon the quest. You'll get sent out. You accept the quest again, and it completely resets. And you just do the same thing again. So if you got Dark Brotherhood, that could be a good way. But again, I would just say do the 300 enemies. This is going to be so much faster, and there is a really easy way to do this. I'll show you. So you could just do go through a public dungeon, but I think you are subjected to the reliability of other players. Do I have my PvP build? No, I don't. Yeah, so you're subjected to other players because public dungeons, they're not instance, so everyone will be running around trying to probably do the same thing. Now, what I suggest you do is come to Skyreach Catacombs. I did talk about this in the daily, but it's going to be the same shit, basically. I put in the description a setup guide. You can just go through that. It should shortcut you straight to the specific setup that gives you the Skyreach Wayshrine. If not, just look through it. it should be fairly straightforward to find that part. So what you want to do is from this way shrine, when you get here, you just want to firstly make sure you've got breakfall, 50 in breakfall. If you don't, just go around down there and just travel that way, but this is quicker. So you go over here and then you point towards Skyreach Catacombs on the compass, and you'll land on this bit and you'll usually survive. Usually. Now we want to come up here. Come down here. And now we're in Skyreach Catacombs. Nowhere to look. So a couple of things to go through. You're going to need a decent build for this. Not so much damage, more about your survivability. Just make sure you have like a decent self-heal. Vigor, especially resolving vigor, is usually more than enough. So I just go resolving vigor. I go swallow. So this is a Nightblade build. I'll put this in the description too. All the sets and the skills and all that. Yeah, some self heals, especially like offensive heals. I've got vigor. We've got siphoning attacks for some heals as well, and some sustain. And then we also want a slow remover. So I can either use. I usually use Phantasmal Escape. Or I use Race Against Time. So these both, at the bottom you see, activating this ability removes all snares and immobilizations, and you can't get immobilized for 4 seconds. There is a lot of shit in here that will slow you the fuck down, so you want to just not have to deal with that. It does have Major Expedition though, and that's something I'm usually going to have, so I'm going to go Phantasmal Escape instead. It's the same thing, but the Nightblade version. Okay, so, as soon as we get in, this room here is very straightforward, but the other rooms are a little bit more advanced. So, with this room, all you got to do is there's a bunch of zombies in the middle, and we just want to pull this group here. Now, you don't have to do it this way, but this is usually how I do it. I find if I bring enemies through the doors, sometimes they struggle to reach you if you go too far. And group these guys up. Like I said, these guys are simple. They're all melee, so they'll all group up very easily. Now, the only thing to keep in mind is if you haven't done these dailies, I would still say do these 3, but one of these is Scryed abilities, so just keep that in mind. I've gone through in the daily what I suggest for Scryed abilities, but yeah, I wouldn't really recommend it anyway. Right, so when you come through here, grab these skeletons and these like sort of bone mounds. When you come through as well, you want to grab these groups here. There's like fire pits as well with skeletons in them. There's another fire pit over there, but we'll just go get that on the next way through. Put my ultimate there, start putting stuff down, keep myself getting healed. Go in this corner here to line of sight all the enemies. And what it does is it forces all the ranged enemies to come closer, and allows you to group them up all quite easily. As you can see here, I'm just coming out now to hit all the rest of them. Now, be careful of fears. They will be something you deal with quite often in here. Oh yeah, so there's just this guy left, I think. And that's everything for now. So, while you're coming through, just double check to make sure you've gotten these fire pits, because there is a pretty crazy amount of enemies that come from these things, these bone mounds here as well. There's like extra rooms where you can find more enemies, but I don't really... A lot of the enemies in these kind of rooms are quite tough. They're like proper bosses. So I usually don't bother with them. Alright, so in this room, you can go through there, but what I like to do is just come up to this pillar here, or come over this way to this pillar, so you can pull this bone mound. There's another bone mound over there as well, just make sure you pull that one. So we come up to this spot, and what I usually do is throw the ultimate down here, and just keep moving from this pillar to this pillar. What it does is, it'll also pull all the ranged enemies to you too, usually. Because line of sight is an important thing. If you do PvP, you'll probably be used to line of sight, but yeah. So I don't think there were many ranged enemies here. So yeah, the reason I do this is this door, I think the enemies find it hard to nav mesh through here. Some of these guys here at the front are fine usually, but if you pull a big group, I don't know, they tend to struggle to get through the door, I find. Alright, so you can pull this group here, but what I like to do, in this case, is just don't touch them. What I'll usually do is I will hit this, because this activates a ton of enemies. I like Veiled Blades here more. I like ultimates that last a lot longer. for Nightblades, so I use Soul Harvest for extra ulti-gen, and basically all the enemies that I kill here will give me another Veil of Blades by the time this one activates. So, right, so what we want to do is hit the Ancient Chest. Now, we'll run quickly, pull this group, pull that group, come on, pull this fire pit, and then pull this fire pit. This will pull a fucking crazy amount of enemies, so get yourself ready. So what I'll do is usually I'll just sit near the middle and just keep moving, keep Phantasmal Escape to stop us from getting snared, keep moving around, keep CC breaking if you get feared. Basically, mobility is your best form of defense here. Just keep moving around, keep pulling the melee enemies to the range enemies, so you can AoE them both down. You'll have big enemies here, they're not that big of a deal, they're just very tanky usually. So keep throwing your Veil of Blades in the middle, because that's where the majority of your enemies will be coming from. Every now and then there'll be like a range enemy in the background, just hit them. Just also be careful of the taking aim attacks, they can be quite nasty. So putting Veil of Blades down again, and like you can look, we're already like 3/4 of the way to another Veil of Blades. Like you can just see how fucking good Nightblades are for getting ultimates in here. It's just crazy. So we've got another Veil of Blades already. There you go. Now you don't, as a Nightblade, you can hold on to your Grim Focus. You don't have to use that because for AoE it'd probably be way better anyway. But if there's just like one big enemy left, you can obviously just use that. So after a while, you'll complete that. You'll kill all the enemies. You get a treasure chest. You get a purple item, which is nice. So you can just stick on that for like a purple material or something. Right. So as you can see, we are already over, yeah, like 200 out of 300. We're almost there already. Now, this group here, I don't suggest pulling them, because these guys are fine, but this guy here is quite high health. So what I will usually do instead is I will go around these guys and not pull them, and just keep moving this way. Now, just, I don't think, yeah, there's no things there. So there's a 5 hit here you want to grab. So I might miss a mound or two, we'll see. There's this group here. Oh, this is nasty. Alright, there's a group there as well. Grab them. Grab them. Grab the bone mound. Grab the bone mound. Keep healing ourselves as well. And there's going to be a lot of enemies coming this way. So what I like to do is line of sight them over here. Pulls all the ranged enemies around you too. You can see all the ranged enemies popping up here. Put down our Veil of Blades again. And yeah, just repeat the process. Go through, mop up all the ranged enemies. Come on to this bit here to line of sight all the ranged enemies back. You can see you've got one ranged enemy in the back there. And we're just AoEing just the stragglers left. That's 270. So yeah, you can get really close. So at this point, I might have missed a few. Oh yeah, I did miss a Bone Man. Here we go. 285, I think. 281, sorry. I'm a bit off. So that should be, yeah, that's like just a couple more enemies after that, and that should be enough enemies for you. So yeah, as you can see, that's the quickest way by far. And you know, just wait 5 minutes and that will reset and you can just do it again. Alright, so if you got any other questions for me about any of this stuff, just let me know as always. But yeah, that's Weekly's done. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for your support as always. I'll see you all next time, and take care.